podcast, we gon' talk about it, yeah, we get it poppin'. Every Wednesday it be essential, we are the only options. Who they trust with their topics, even if it is toxic. Life a podcast, we gon' be here just to talk about it. We gon' talk about it. We gon' talk about it. Life a podcast, we gon' be here just to talk about it.
Yo, welcome back to another edition of the Life Be Life podcast. Back up on the scene, I'm your host, Tony D.
And I'm your host, D to the J. Still in the building like I ain't never left, and it's still a G thing. What up? It's another Won't He Do It Wednesday. Guess what? He done did it, bro.
He did it again. You hear me?
He done it again, man. But we don't want to tarry too long, man, because, want to make sure we're on topic for everybody to peep the topic. You know what I'm saying?
So they know what we talking about and all
make sure
that.
They know what we talk about. You feel me?
And just for the record, we are not at the same place tonight. So
we are not at the same place.
But I mean,
we always on time. Yeah.
So, anywho, shots fired early. It is what it is.
How you feeling, bro?
I'm good, man. Again, it's another Wednesday, man. Been chilling. Got to give a couple of shout outs, man. My wife, the Queen birthday, man, is this Saturday. So y'all know we finna get live real quick. Right. To my nephew, Danye, out there in Texas, man. Happy birthday, nephew. You got it? Oh, my daughter, but I can do her next week, so it is what it is, man. You got any acres, bro?
I probably do, man, but I'm gonna tell you what, that plane took off for me about an hour back, man. So if your birthday is in April, you know your birthday in April, man. Send a shout out to God for yourself. Yeah. Beautiful day, man. It's a beautiful day. The week it was up and down like roller coasters, man. I ain't gonna lie. A lot of things on the real, a lot of things that I'm starting to see start to play out. And I'm telling people, like, pay attention. Stop trying to make jokes and humor about so much stuff, because that that verse that kicked off, there's a war going on outside, no man is safe from, is absolutely real. There's things that's happening that are going to impact like crazy. And so dealing with the professional world, I talked about, it was like a month ago, talked about the tariffs and a lot of the things like that. Why we need to stop tweaking off of the president, and you're gonna have to pray for them one way or another. You just got to just let it go. Okay. But we talked about the judges, the circuit judges, the mayors, the governors. These are the people that's really holding us back as a community, a culture movement, a nation, however you want to slice that pie up, like it's still going to be the same. And so now what you're seeing is where you have the OFAC, which is, it's a division of the Department of Treasury that sanctions, different countries for whatever reason. And so they adding more to this list, where it was at one point just a straight up 7-country deal, and then you had others that they would watch. But the whole purpose of it, and it's not my opinion, it is true factual. The purpose of the economic sanction, bro, is to really, they say it is to assist a decision making for the other side to cooperate, when really you putting them in a chokehold to either fold economically, which is great from a business perspective, but not from, a people, a nation, a lifestyle, how your parents are going to take care of themselves, Social Security, all in all. So, man, I say that again. It was a roller coaster week, man, but nonetheless, man, still thankful on this side of life, gift of gab and the gift of breath. So, how you been, bro, before we kick this thing off?
Can't complain, man. And, I'll talk about some things later on down the road.
Yeah.
But feel good, man. I'm chilling. You know, again, you're ready to celebrate the missus' birthday after we coming
Yeah.
off our anniversary. You know, it's just been dope, man. And to kind of piggyback real quick for about 30 seconds on what you were saying, it's a trip right now, man, because the climate is starting to get real murky right now. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? To where it's like, and I'm gonna say this as constructively as I can, but it's kind of like if you gotta watch how you moving because the rules are not the same for you.
True.
Say it like that.
True.
You know what I'm saying? You really gotta watch how you move. And we will talk about this at a later point in time,
Yeah.
man. But we want people
Yeah.
to beware.
Yeah.
Watch your surroundings. Watch what you say, whether it's online. I know people say, "Oh, ain't nobody go," but check it out, man.
Yeah.
It's always gonna be safety first. We
Yeah.
living for the next. We living to get home, so we can try to make it through the next day. And
Yeah.
people say, you know, I'm just trying to make it to tomorrow. I'm trying to make the next couple of hours because we used to say tomorrow's not promised,
Mm-hmm.
but in reality, the rest of today is not promised. In a bigger reality, the rest of the night not even promised.
Yeah.
You know,
Real.
so you know what I'm saying. But again, we'll talk about it later
Yeah.
point in time. So
Yeah. And that might be a topic.
Yeah.
And that might be something lifers, y'all, comment. Let us know if that's something you want to go further into, man. We'll definitely drop
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah,
skip. Wait a minute, skip. Hey, listen,
Thomas Patrick Brady.
Hey, let's run this disclosure, bro, and jump into this topic. This religious relationships, man. It's gonna be a burner. I know it's gonna be a lot of gems that we're gonna talk about, man.
And it's not gonna be about what they think.
No, but then again, if they thinking outside the box from inside the house that's around the circle,
yeah.
That makes no sense. Kick that disclosure.
Get this thing correct.
The views and opinions expressed on the Life Be Life in podcast are solely those of the artists, producers, guests, and hosts of the show. Any numbers, stats, or stated resources that are given, we do ask that you verify that information for yourself.
Have you ever been in a situation and needed to be a little bit of emotional but just couldn't seem to tap in? Possibly needed to back your way out of a lie and show them that you're telling the truth by crying? Well, have no fears. Cry No More is here, made from real baby tears. The organic, all-natural substance you'll take once a day, and it'll produce tears on the spot. It'll get those tear ducts flowing. May cause side effects including internal bleeding, diarrhea, hemorrhaging of the belly button, eyelash removal, hair removal, back fat removal, toes falling off, and also bad breath. Cry no more. Real organic tears. Never be stranded again.
Yeah, I had to hold my head high. I had to let go my pride. I had some worries and some fears, but then I left it to God. Cause honestly, I feel it coming and I know it's my time. The ones that got all this, the ones that ain't got a pot. Imagine throwing a fit when you can be out that spot. You boys still touching on that stove and mama said it was hot. I had a dream, I woke up as king. I'm about to go take me a march. Get ready, get set on your mark. Let's go, I'm taking a start. And all of my dreams got down on my knees. I had to go pray to the Lord. Protect me cause I'm 101. They hate that I'm not one of them. I had a dream, I woke up as king. I'm about to go take me a march. Get ready, get set on your mark. Let's go, I'm taking a start. And all of my dreams got down on my knees. I had to go pray to the Lord. Protect me cause I'm 101. They hate that I'm not one of them. Mama, why they keep doubting me? Yeah, why they won't say they proud of me? Put blood, sweat, tears, my time to see I'm on where all that honesty. Been feeling like Schmurd, voice of the trenches, man, lady trying to get back to poverty. Gotta lift up the kids and send them to school. The trenches can't keep raising prodigy. That's what the knowledge be. Coming together, we gotta do good for the kids. Losing our nieces and nephews to nieces and nephews. Ernie Hearn trying to make it us men. Put down the guns and pick up some gloves and knuckle up, wobble like men. Tired of the fake thugs and fake drugs, only doing it for a trend. I had a dream, I woke up as king. I'm about to go take me a march. Get ready, get set on your mark. Let's go, I'm taking a start. And all of my dreams got down on my knees. I had to go pray to the Lord. Protect me cause I'm one on one. They hate that I'm not one of them. I had a dream, I woke up as king. I'm about to go take me a march. Get ready, get set on your mark. Let's go, I'm taking a start. And all of my dreams got down on my knees. I had to go pray to the Lord. Protect me cause I'm one on one. They hate that I'm not one of them.
And we back up in this joint. What's going on, Brody?
Hey, man. Every time I hear that K the Kid, man, I just want to get my John Moran on and just just hey, man. Hey, shout out to K the Kid. The song was Bananas, but shout out to D to the J because I did the radio edit, and that's real life. I ain't had nothing to do with I did the radio edit.
With her permission.
That's right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So look, lifers, we back. Tonight's episode, religious relationships. So, you know, sometimes the things we engage in, they're much more than what we initially thought, right? You know, on the social tip, you may have found somebody you was looking for a little giddy up for the night, and next thing you know, your social status it's complicated. You feel me? So, or maybe you got a second job and now they trying to push you to do things like it's the primary gig. So everything from how a lot of times the pews to the pulpit, and even how sometimes those relationships get fumbled. But hey, one thing we about to do tonight is we're gonna talk about it. So
yeah,
bro, kick that thing off, man. You set it off. Religious relationships.
So check it out, man. Again, it's not what y'all think that it's gonna be. Just kind of in the climate that we're in now, and we've done a couple of shows on it. It feels like to where some people, because it happens to men and it does happen to women as well, that they both engage, but it feels like that someone wants to be in a relationship for a reason, for status, for notoriety, for power, or just to be seen. You know what I'm saying?
Approval, yeah.
And we've seen it how when they're attached to these people, you know, we see the people out all the time, but out there people, all of a sudden there's allegations of cheating and infidelity. But the thing is that we get to a point in relationships, especially if it's not built on us, it's built on stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then the focus changes on the relationship, because if it's about stuff, you're going to be constantly moving and trying to obtain stuff, not with a purpose. It's just to say I have it. In the process of that, because you have your own, or people have their own agendas, they're willing to endure whatever. You know what I'm saying? I know he got some females across now. We've seen it on the TV. We've seen it on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? But it's okay. Still my man. He taking care of me.
Yeah.
Excuse me? Or it could be, you know what I'm saying, the guy. You know what I'm saying? She taking care of me. So now what that starts to break down to as when someone is starting to take care of you in that fashion, it erodes the personal relationship, the bond that people are supposed to have, because now, again, you're bonded to things. It becomes a ritual. You know what I'm saying? Person comes home, you know what I'm saying? You do what you do just to, you know, be like, hey, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. And then, hey, checkbook, credit card, I'm finna go shopping, or, you know, I need the next game system, or I need a new car, or you know, whatever the case may be. As you get into the wrong reason. And now, because it becomes so routine, it's kind of like as we go to church on Sunday, it's kind of like when we're going to Bible study, things of that nature. It becomes religious in the aspect because now that person becomes your savior. Somebody talk to me for a minute here.
Yeah, that's right.
That person becomes your savior. because you're sitting back, you're worshiping them to a degree. You hear me? Whether they putting hands on you, we've seen it in the hood, man. Little baller, you know what I'm saying? He out there in the hood doing his thing, and you know he coming in late. He always fighting with his baby mama. Police is always at the crib. But guess what? He paying the rent and keeping the lights on. So it's like, hey, yeah, I'm gonna take him back. And that's unfortunately how a lot of our young people and our women and our men end up unalived
Yeah.
because they're putting stuff before they put their love or their relationship with that person. So again, man, as it becomes religious, they worship the ground that person walks on. You've seen people who mentally abuse people, make them think that they're not going to be nothing, that they're not worth anything. So now this person worships the ground that this person walks.
Yeah.
Say how high, you tell them to bark, they go bark. And I
Yeah.
feel like, man, that is really setting yourself up, your life up for turmoil.
Yeah. Facts.
Man, because,
Yeah.
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 What you think, Brody?
Man, so first phrase come to mind, man, is keeping up with the Joneses. And you talked about stuff and things, man, and I've seen people do just some of the most wicked and devious things, man, for just the simplest things in life. And I dig it. Like a lot of people, we come from humble beginnings, and some worse than others, and so I understand the desire to want more, to want better for yourself. But in the midst of even that, man, people will get lost. You know what I mean? Like, so you say you starting out slanging because you want to get your bird out the hood. You know what I'm saying? You tired of seeing her work 3 jobs. She, or such and such is so tired they can't even make it to the bed. They passed out. Where you see in the movies where the kid is taking off the boots or taking off mama's shoes.
Right.
You know what I'm
Put the
saying?
cuffs over.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I dig that. So boom. So even though it's wicked, it's wild, you doing what you gotta do to try to make a way. Okay. But man, you've been slanging, man, for 15 years. Did you get lost along the way? Did you forget what you got in it for? Because you've made enough money to buy 5, 6 houses for your mama and move her out the hood. A lot of times we get lost along the way. You know what I mean? We're chasing this dollar, we're chasing this thing. And it's a immediate gratification, but it's not long term. And we talk about how people are raised, the teachings, and the level of influence that's being issued out, and that's what's really causing people to be obsessed with things. You know what I mean? You're not guiding or directing somebody to do the things that is really going to push them forward or give them something that's tangible. So now you're dealing with, again, that YouTube raising kids, microwave cooking for your kids. They're on electronics all day and day, and there's no structure, there's no genuine concern. So now I'm gonna start lacking social empathy, everything like that. So what am I looking at? I'm looking at these things. I'm playing video games, GTA. Man, look, I can crash a whip, go buy me a new one, right? Ironically, let's think about how these St. Louis streets and everywhere, how these young people is driving, right? Looks just like GTA, right? But ain't nobody falling out the sky no more, B. That's like over. You know what I'm saying? That was for Lucifer and his angels, my boy. They ain't falling out of heaven no more. You know what I'm saying? CJ can't help you with this mission. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
big facts.
It's we're just getting way too caught up on the desire of things, and then it's almost like when a perception or an image is had, now I gotta sustain that. You know what I'm saying? Because in certain communities, you know what I'm saying? In certain communities, we're gonna be like, oh, I seen, hey, man, it's so bad, bro. You can't even lose weight fast, or they be talking about you on that stuff. You know what I'm saying? You can't, you like, hey, he looking good, but I don't know. What you think? Either that or that Ozempic, that's what they're gonna put on you, right? they're gonna put that on you. You just ran out the crib to just grab something simple. You know what I'm saying? You cooking, you barbecuing, and you needed something. Just you ran in there just with your little basketball shorts on, and they like, I seen such and such, man. You know they looking down and out like. So we have to a lot of times keep up with an image. You know what I'm saying? Your car working just fine. You just got it 3 years ago. Why you just run out and get this brand new 2030? They ain't, you know what I'm saying? Why are you doing that? Why are you because you're trying to keep up a 2030.
You make payments until the end.
A 2030. You know what I'm saying? But you trying to keep up with this image. And maybe at some point it was a reality, but instead of being real with yourself, therefore you can't be real with other people, and you're in this religious, I'm gonna worship the image of how people view me. Because guess what? I don't know about you, bro, but I love attaboys and pat on the backs. I love people to look at me and say, you know what? Is God, my spouse, and D to the J. Now I understand, because I know before the churchy folks talking about, you know what I'm saying, you thinking too much. I ain't talking about that. Ain't no pride, ain't none of that. Chill. But I'm just saying on the real, everybody wants to feel good and get some sort of praise. And so if I obtain this thing and that brings that, then that's going to be what I'm going to continue to chase. And it's only going to change if at some point somebody kind of pulls our brakes up and say, look, let me set you on the right track, because the things that you find in the value, that's not it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
So
that's big facts, man. I was on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, and I see that there's now a lawsuit against video game companies.
Yeah, I
Is
heard
your
that.
child too much? And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, this is a perfect example of a religious relationship, because, okay, for instance, my son, even, you know what? I'll put myself on blast. There was a time, even while being married, I was a hardcore gamer, because I didn't have to get up till 8, 9 in the morning. So shoot, me going to bed 1, 2, but nothing. Still getting 6, 7 in. Our house got broken into, and this was in Bell Fountain, and pretty much everything got taken. It kind of broke that habit. You know what I'm saying? Because
your
I was
game,
playing
bro.
religion. Oh man, I was on them. I was on them. My
Man.
Madden, my Call of Duty. Like, I still play now,
Yeah.
but it's really towards the weekends. You know what I'm saying? During the
It hurt your
times,
soul when they stole that game, didn't they? You could have had $1,500 in the dresser drawer. They done,
man.
just don't take that.
And you know what? Before I move on, what pissed me off about that, when they broke in my house, man, they took all my St. Louis stuff, but left all my Philly stuff. All my jerseys, all my hats. They took no Philly stuff, dude. Yeah. I was like, well, I still got my Philly stuff. So, but anywho, man, so I seen this, and I thought about parents who, we've seen videos on Facebook, Instagram, man, of, there's a kid, the mom has turned off the internet. And I don't know if it was staged or what, but the mom had turned off the internet. Little guy was probably about 20. You know what I'm saying? You hear him yelling at first, "Mom, did you turn off the internet?" And he was like, "Yes." He was like, "Turn it on." And she's like, he's like, "Turn it on." So all of a sudden, this dude breaks down the door. To go turn on the internet, to go back downstairs. My friends are wondering where I am. Because the internet is not on. So I'm like, okay. So that we were enablers. Any child that's playing video games excessively and grades start to slip in, they're not doing their chores. They're not washing their bodies. You know what I'm saying? They're not cleaning their rooms. It's crazy, man. And we have to be the ones that break that cycle, because it's like a drug to them. They have this religious relationship, you know what I'm saying, online. They have an online persona with their friends, you know. And it's like you take that away from them, they be straight ready to crash
Yeah.
over a computer or a game or a phone or a tablet. And now, because the companies made it accessible, well, the companies marketed, parents made it accessible to the kids buying them X, Y, and Z. But now the same stuff that you bought, and nobody forced you to go out and buy the game system, to go out and buy the games, to let your child sit in front of the TV for umpteen thousand hours. But now you as a parent, because you made that decision, you're going to turn around and sue the video game company?
Mm-hmm.
How? Make it make sense. You know what I'm saying? Which, before we move on, um, there's a game called Fortnite. When my son was younger, he used to play it a lot. I tried to play him with him a couple of times, and I was like, yeah, this is too much going on. Because you got to move, shoot, build, refill your head. I was like, this is way too much going on. But that game was actually made by psychologists. So
Okay.
apparently the game releases, what is it? The chemical. Can't think of the name of it at the moment. But it releases a chemical in the brain. It's kind of like dopamine. So it's kind of like
Oh,
you
the
getting high
relaxing.
off.
Yeah, a relaxing. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you getting high off a drug. By the way, the actions, the colors, the movements, they did it intentionally. But you know what I'm saying? Still, as a parent, you got to be a parent and not allow your child to form this unbreakable religious bond with something that is tangible. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? You get another one. Get off the game, do your chores, do this, do that, and you can hop back on. So it was just really a trip, man. How I seen that, and it makes us really realize what our society is coming to.
So what I'm hearing is, and kind of shifting gears, like when we talk about religious relationships, it's almost like religious relationships. Because again, people hear that topic and think, oh, we're speaking religious, meaning to the church. But no, we're referring to religion in the form of something that you would worship, that you're going to give your time to. So when we saying religious worship, as it pertains to or religious relationship as it's going to pertain to time, things of that sort. I'm thinking about previous guests and conversation that we've had with young ladies who are now in adulthood and are becoming courageous enough to speak out.
Yeah.
They're tired of holding things back. And so the first question that people always want to drill to them is, well, why did you wait so long? And so in the midst of various conversations, I've had people tell me, well, my body reacted to it the way that it's supposed to react. So if I didn't want it, why would that have happened? And so
Right.
a lot of times they extended grace to their attacker because possibly it was out of self-pity, it was out of denial, various reasons. Maybe they didn't want to disrupt the whole flow of a family, or could have been their mom or boyfriend, whatever the case. They're not going to
Yeah.
say something because of a loyalty, which will be almost the equivalent of a religious relationship. And so even turning the corner and saying, for those who would ever want to question why, because there's something internally that sometimes will trick the mind into saying, if you keep quiet, this thing can this thing can that. So yeah, that's a real bold topic with a lot of different directions. Where we going next, bro? Because
Well,
this got a lot of things, man. I'm gonna let you guide it.
yeah. So to kind of sum up this first section, this first portion, man. When you said worship, you know what I'm saying? And some people may have heard this saying, some people may not. You know what I'm saying? Are you going to the club tonight? Yeah, I'm in there religiously.
Yeah.
So it's something that, it just becomes part of the routine, part of the habit. You know what I'm saying? Take showers religiously. This is
Yeah.
something, brush your teeth
Yeah. Yeah.
religiously. So as we're talking about this, man, as we're, making giggles here and there about it, we're simply just kind of paraphrasing this, man. Before we move on, man, because we kind of jump right in head first,
Yep.
2 years, my boy.
Yeah, facts. Life be life, and we had it posted. And thank you for all the lifers that comment, like, shared. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So April 5th, 2025, we celebrated 2 years that Life Be Life and podcast.
Yeah, man.
It's
Dope,
been
man. Like,
man. So
yeah.
came a long way.
Yeah, I mean, as we recap, y'all know we started over on
Whack Talk Radio.
Black Talk.
Oh yeah, my bad. It was block. I
Yeah.
thought it was Whack Talk Radio. My bad.
Whack 100. But
Yeah, but
Black
that's
Talk
probably
Radio.
that. And they were so trash. That's why people was complaining about the topics and that they couldn't understand where we was because of Blog Talk.
Yeah, so as things progress, we were finally able. What's up, Noel? How you doing this evening, man? Appreciate you watching. But as we were able to kind of, look into other things, we took a hiatus and just
Yeah.
started pulling things together. Bro got he got the website, you know what I'm saying, together. We got the logo popping. We had the merch going, which we
Yeah.
still got. So, we got some
Yeah.
summer stuff coming. But
Yeah. And big dudes don't. We got the draws line and the socks. Big dudes. We got the Life Be Life in draws, man. So you don't be having
they
that
got a little
plastic
pad
joint.
in the front and back
You heard me.
in case you can't make it because life be lifing.
Hey, you ain't gonna have the little circulation marks on your calves. We got you. Straight like that. You in there.
Not
Real sizes. You hear me? Real sizes. We ain't skinny you. This ain't I ain't gonna say their name. You feel me?
So before we move on, man, this person right who just commented, Tina Ashford. What's up, sis? How you doing, man? So she was actually one of the supporters a long time ago from Kingdom Talk Radio.
Yeah.
She down there in Louisiana, man, and you know what I'm saying, we check in, her, Stacy, we check in, here and there. But hey, I appreciate you, looking in tonight, you know what I'm saying, chiming in, seeing the conversation. Much love to y'all, man. I hope y'all safe down there. But as we get ready to move on, bro. So this next one may be a little touchy.
All right.
We're gonna talk about marriage for a little bit.
All right.
And the thing is that unfortunately, in this day and age, we're seeing a lot of divorce for whatever reason, whether it was infidelity, whether it was just I couldn't take it no more, we were incompatible, we were unequally yoked, whatever the case may be, because somebody told me to, you know, we're seeing a high rate of divorce right now, and it's crazy. Like I can name 10 people, who are married. I'm talking about 10 years or better, and had to call it quits for whatever reason. And I really feel like, man, that as the church, continues to marry, and again, this is not a black eye or a backhand. I'm simply having this conversation because I don't feel like it's ever been had in a respectful manner. So the thing is that as we go to church, and if we're courting, we're dating, we're already doing the do, which is considered what, bro? Sin, right? Sin is sin. Well, we didn't already sin because we got a little child, you know what I'm saying? So now this child has been born out of wedlock. What's the next thing the church is going to say? Before you do anything in the church, because you got a child or you're currently pregnant, you have to either sit down.
Yep.
Okay. You have to sit down while you're pregnant because you're not married. Or before you take part in usher, music ministry, praise and worship, whatever the case may be, if you're not married and you're courting, the church is, you know what I'm saying, pushing you. Hey, y'all need to be married to be right in God's eyes.
Yep.
Hey, look, I'm not saying that it's wrong. I understand. You know what I'm saying? I very much understand that there is a standard. You're trying to uphold the standard. And trust and believe. I understand. However, as that push comes to make sure that young people get married, because young people, Unfortunately, we're growing up in a society in motherless homes, in fatherless homes, in
Yep.
parentless homes.
Yep.
And sometimes the home is not parentless, the parent is just not present. So sometimes these kids got to raise themselves, and kids go do stupid stuff. I'm not saying having a kid is stupid. What I'm saying is that I did stupid stuff. I should have never been having sex unprotected and not, you know what I'm saying? Now I can say this, but had I had somebody to teach me and I would have known better, possibly. So now as these young people get married, and yes, you know, y'all take them through counseling, things of that nature, there comes there comes an intimacy point
Mm-hmm.
because hey, when we were dating, smack them up, flip them, throw them down, you know.
You know what I'm saying? Now we up here singing the Vaughn, separated.
I can't flip them down no more. Just
Trying to smack them. Nah.
And unfortunately, what it does cause division.
True.
You know, we did a show. Is the bedroom defiled or we just getting wild?
Mm-hmm.
And I really feel like that a lot of these couples get married because the church is pushing them because of the religious relationship that they would like to have, whether it's with God or they respect their pastor or their first lady just that much. I mean, it's all debatable. It's all plausible.
Yeah.
But however, I feel like that if these couples were engaging in this beforehand, they get married and now they have to stop. It does cause a ripple. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like,
Yeah.
yo, what happened to? And they're like, no, you know, Pastor said we can't do that no more because it's a sin. And I really believe that when that couple should be able to go to their leader or an elder and ask these questions and not be ridiculed. First off and foremost, you know what I'm saying? It's a question. They need young marriage classes without a doubt to where they're rightly dividing the word of God. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it's not to make anybody feel comfortable. It's just to say, yo, at the end of the day, this is your marriage. And as this is your marriage, you do as you please because the bedroom was undefiled.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, certain denominations say, we not dealing with it. If it ain't missionary, the mission is over. So I just really feel like, man, that
that's facts though.
it just needs to be a conversation that needs to be had, man, that these young people need to be led because now they're breaking up. They're leaving kids, you know what I'm saying, in fatherless or possibly motherless homes.
Yeah.
They're leaving the kids in crazier situations because now both parties that moved on probably then came out of church and they found somebody that can do it again. But because I divorced this person who I had history with, I can't really be with them no more.
Mm-hmm.
So what you feel about that, man?
So I agree 1,000%. But I'm gonna take it a step further. So speaking as somebody who got married extremely young, first go round, right? And so in hindsight, it's something that I try to teach my kids and just talking to people in general. It's like our ideas of the steps in a relationship are off. And what I mean by that is, so let's say you 19 years old, boom, y'all dating, right? A year passed. Now, of course, y'all already being intimate and physical, boom, boom, boom. You probably starting to meet family members, things like that, hanging out more socially. Okay. By that second year in, you're living together. We've been telling each other we love each other. We having sex. We live together. We paying bills. If somebody had a relationship previous and had a child, y'all are co-parenting. And so as the natural order of things, you're getting older and taller. Your relationship is set to get older and it should advance. So what's the next step? It's either to have your own baby, but most of the time it's marriage. And we joke about it, but that nursery rhyme, we don't follow that order. First comes love, then comes marriage. Then comes a baby in the baby carriage. What we're seeing, and I just had a conversation with this cat, man. This is on Monday, man. A young cat, early. He was like 31, and got 11 kids, right? 7 different women, and so one of his kids, he was just telling me about, was in a situation where they trying to run the streets. Okay, he doesn't have the best relationship with the kid's mom because they, there's that level of I hate you resentment. They started their relationship 16, 17, right? So think about that mindset. But now you're holding me to a standard as a 30, 31-year-old man that's trying to parent my child and steer him out of something to who I was at 16, 17, which still in all, you shouldn't be that mad because you laid down with me as well. But I say all that to say the natural step of things sometimes get out of order. So we also have to learn to slow things down. Just because it's been 2-3 years and we living together, having sex, possibly co-parenting, or even thinking about having kids of our own, that doesn't mean that it's time to go ahead and say I do. Because again, depending on how young you are, so let's say now you are 22. How many serious relationships have you been in by 22? Hopefully not that many, because if you have and your peoples was really letting you be 16, 17, and you know what I'm saying, you've been in relationships, you've been dating, like, come on, man. So realistically, somebody that's 21, 22 shouldn't have long-term relationships in their resume. You feel me? Like, they love resume, should not hold that. So do you know really what you want? Because you ain't been to that many restaurants. You don't know what you like. You thought you liked the, you know what I'm saying, a tall man, until every car you got to buy got 4 doors. You feel me? You thought you wanted somebody that was just a little shorter than you, brother, until you had to keep getting caught. Can you get the can off the shelf? And you was laying down comfortable in your drawers. It's all fun and game, but you need to learn what you like. And it's hard to say that at 21, 22. And I said it in a real joking manner, but I'm hoping.
You all right, man? Who hurt you? You all right?
I'm hoping the lifers really grasp that. You know what I'm saying? At that age, you're not ready. We keep saying statistically the human brain isn't developed until 25. If you're 25 and they saying, and I understand everybody is different, I get that. But for all y'all trying to be funny, saying on top of that, men mature later than y'all, then we certainly shouldn't be trying to marry no dude at 21, 22, because the scientific brain said they ain't ready. The street women said ain't no dudes ready until they 30s, but yet and still, here you is trying to make it work. So, and the last thing I say on that, bro, I talked about the sequence of things. And so people that have been married multiple times, well, let's just say 2, because I think anything after 2, man, you got to take the L for yourself. But they say the second, you good, bro? Turn your camera off. Yeah. So they say the second marriage is better than the first. It usually has a greater succession rate. And everybody can say their beliefs. Why? I believe why is because I knew when I went into a second situation, I was fully aware of, one, what I wanted, who I was, what I needed in this phase of life, which was really my manhood. You know what I'm saying? And it's at 19, 20, man, I'm still listening to, I'm more fascinated about the beat between Nas and Jay-Z, you know what I'm saying? And and who's got the boosting on the shrimp, than I'm worried about adulthood stuff. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm gonna go to work. Yeah, I'm paying the bills, but anything outside of that level of being a man that won't include being intimate, I can't fade you. Yeah. But as I mature, I start to learn things. So I say that to say, like, when you first find somebody, bro, you think she fine, you pull up on her, you know what I'm saying? You heard it with that shorty. What's your name? I'm every time I see you. You know what I'm saying? You hitting her with that, right? And then y'all exchange numbers, y'all start dating, y'all are together, but you don't know this person, and you're finding yourself trying to learn them as you're already technically dating and exclusive. So you've entered into a serious relationship and you never even established a basis of a friendship. And that is the difference between a first marriage and a second marriage, because you've had enough time, one, for your brain to mature, two, for you to know really what you want and what you want to invest in. That's a difference. What you want to invest in, right?
Yeah.
You know these things. And so now that you know them, I'm going to build a friendship first. It's normally somebody that you see. Y'all ain't communicating on no flirty tip. Yeah, you might think, you know what I'm saying, that, you know, her shirt size, she's definitely not on honor roll. She's going to be flunking. It's D's and F's. You feel me? You might notice stuff like that, but you're not necessarily pursuing after little baby, right? But then you start to notice these characteristics and you're attracted to the inward, you know what I'm saying, on top of the beauty that's on the outward, right? And even when it comes to the longevity of that marriage, that's how those marriages sustain, is because you have learned that person first as a friend versus the relationship. And that too is what also is happening as you stayed on this track from a church perspective, bro. You pushing that thing. They've been living together 2-3 years. They wanted to start going to church, but now there's got to be a doorway for y'all to come through. And it has to be y'all either are working towards marriage actively now, or working out of the house with each other, because to come into this house, you have to come in like this. Anything else is actively participating, or, you know what I'm saying? So that also kind of puts the foot on that marital gas. You know what I'm saying?
Yes. So I'm gonna use this as my soapbox too today, man. It's gonna be a couple of minutes. Something that you said really, really caught my attention, man. And we look at like the way social media is now. You know what I'm saying? There's OnlyFans out here. There's, you know, there's like Twitter after dark, or there used to be. There's certain stuff on Instagram or whatever. So here's the thing.
BET Uncut. BET Uncut.
You stupid. Exactly though. Indeed.
Woo, shout out to Nelly. Yeah, you know, everybody know you a lying to have. If y'all ain't seen that song in your head, you're lying.
So, so rudely interrupted. What's really a trip, man, is that from the mentality of some young guys, as you said, you know, the brain doesn't mature into its 25, and it could be even later, you know what I'm saying, for us fellas. The trip is on both sides of the fence. If a woman sees a man that looks good enough, or a man sees a woman that looks good enough, they're talking already. They ain't even asked name, phone number. They haven't even approached each other. They're talking about having sex. He gonna be my baby daddy. Yeah, I'm gonna put a baby in her, my boy. I'm not pulling out.
I'm getting that 4 months off at Bank of America.
Huh?
I said I'm gonna get that 4 months off at the bank. Yes, sir. Shout out to Kelly. Half.
You stupid.
Shout out to Kelly.
So check it out, man. I believe that a lot of times that people want to have a child. Kind of like the what's up boy in the NBA?
Anthony Edwards.
Yeah, Anthony Edwards. Okay, perfect example. Which she's done it before. A little bit older than him. He told her he didn't want to have a kid. He should have took precautions on himself, but he did not. End up shooting up the club.
True.
She has a baby. He was like, I told you I didn't want the baby. paid all 18 years up front in child support,
Mhm.
like 1.3 million. Hey, I don't want no parts of it. And I believe that people try to forge this bond with people that they want to keep in their life because thinking that a baby is going to change the situation. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because
true.
if this person has a baby by me on either side of the fence, whether it's male or whether it's female, you know what I'm saying? However that's gonna work out. Either he really wants her to have a baby or she really wants to have his baby. The thing is that we're not realizing the number one, the tie that that's going to have. Because if this doesn't work out and you move on, you still got to be in this person's life until this child gets at least of legal age. That way
Yep.
you could deal with them on your own.
Yeah.
But a lot of times people have these kids to hold that anchor to someone because again, it's like a religious relationship, man. I'm gonna have this baby and I'm gonna put him on child support religiously because a lot of bitter baby mamas is that not what they do. You hear me? A lot of fellas, hear me out, fellas. If you didn't shut up the club and this is not a person that you did not want to spend the rest of your life with, you need to take precautions. Or, you know what I'm saying? Put a plug out the site. Because here it is. Now you're at this point to where you have this relationship with someone. And again, yes, it's almost like it's religious because y'all got to co-parent this child. Or either somebody, you'll come up missing and not missing, but you'll disappear. Let me say that, not to be in the baby's life.
Yeah.
And it just makes everybody bitter all the way around. As I conclude my soapbox today, man, religious relationships, you have to really see what the nature of their relationship is about. If it's based on a child, if it's only based on sex, if it's only based on church, if it's only based on looks, if it's only based on money, those things will have that religious aspect because you're going to do whatever you got to do, whether it's shrinking yourself, becoming less of a person, being degraded, being cheated on, being mentally, physically, emotionally abused because you want to hang on to this lifestyle. You want to hang on to this person in your life. You want to hang on to this relationship. It's not
Mm-hmm.
doing you any good.
Yeah.
Check it out, man. At the end of the day, you got to account for you. They got to account for themselves as well. But trust and believe. Trust and believe. When it's all over and it's all said and done, when this world is over, we got somebody we got to answer to, man. Because we get to a point where we start putting things before God.
Yeah.
We put houses, cars, jobs, children, mates. And I hear what y'all saying, but I'm talking about stuff, cars. You hear me? Jewelry. I'm gonna put this. Pray more to your jewelry. Check on your jewelry more than you check on God. And in closing, God go remember that. So watch out for these religious relationships. And I'm Tony D. Back up on the scene. Nah, I mean, that's my soapbox.
Yeah, man. Hey, God gonna get you. He gonna get you. Hey, man. I think it's some real sucker stuff, man, for people that want to have babies but don't want to take care of them. Like, you really just gotta have a point in your life to where you do like Reggie Miller. You pull up and shoot. Stop trying to be a young boy and like, you know what I'm saying? You did all this moving. You ain't have one more move.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have a baby with you, so I'm gonna. And the reality is, you thought money was greater than the necessity of this child needing to a father in their life. You feel me?
Yeah.
You thought, because we talked about earlier in this show, they're worshiping their lifestyle of an MBA bachelor, and I want the single life. So it's not going to benefit or look good for me to go city to city. And I'm looking for the chocolate bunnies, the snow bunnies, the honey bunnies. You know what I'm saying? He's going city to city. It don't look good to have this kid. So let me hit you off right now with this money. But money ain't God. It's not king.
Yeah.
And what type of person, and they're out there, this is men and women, this is even for the women who accept the bread and say, okay, the money is greater than your need as a dad. You should have thought about that before you was getting your knees pushed behind your neck bone and you don't know nobody. You feel me? You still think his name is Man. His name is Terrence. You don't know this because you never asked. You don't know he's still living with his bird. You know what I'm saying? You don't know that he Ubers everywhere. No disrespect, but I'm just saying in the combination of things he has no desire. You don't know this. And now you want to badmouth somebody talking about they no good. They wasn't no good ever, bro. Even they mama say you ain't never gonna be nothing. But you didn't know these things because you didn't ask. You just see them same funky Jabot jeans that he wears every time he goes out with them same wheat colored Timbs that smell like Doritos, but you didn't know that. You know what I'm saying? You ain't know that because he came through that joint like this. So you thought it's all good. You didn't know nobody. Money is not king. Money is not God. Money does not replace the need for a relationship of a parent. And stop going out of order, having the intimate parts without knowing if this is a person you should be intimate with, men and women. This is crazy. This is crazy. The bonds that you're making with somebody that you should never make in religious relationships, the worshiping of the image of my success, the image of my single lifestyle. So I'm going to pay and do this. Yeah. It's not a good look. The aspect of letting what others think, feel, say, dictate the flow and the order of how you progress through your own relationship. Stop worrying about what somebody else says. Well, when you gonna get married? When y'all gonna have kids? When your edges grow back. You know what I'm saying? That's when I'm gonna do it. And if that ain't gonna happen no time soon, stop sweating me. But we just got to get to the point we stop letting people press us and push us to go a place that we don't want to go. And then when we get there, we turn back around and there's no lifelines, there's no support, there's no help.
Everybody gone.
And we talked about this, bro, on season 1, Church Hurt. Our guest talked about being a virgin, growing up in leadership. And his specific words were, he didn't even feel that he was really worshiping God. He was mimicking what he had seen all that time. In his words, he said, so my pastor in turn became my God. A religious relationship. You're looking at something or somebody and you're trying to hold on to that. And that's what we talked about from the opening of the show. It might be something. It could be the value or the hope that a spouse, a child, a parent will finally get their act together and turn their life around. And I've had people say to me, they say, well, maybe one day. And I've had to say, now, you know good and well, after all these decades, that ain't never going to be. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I appreciate the optimism, but it just has to come a point in time when we take accountability, we take ownership of where we need to go. Uh-huh. We realize that the only relationship that really should come first is whatever God that you believe. If you believe you God, because we know, hey, whatever it is, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? But understand that there has to be something that's driving you. Put that first. And then find you somebody that will make you greater. Your purpose, your job. Find you something that's going to enhance your internal love. You know what I mean? Yeah. Find a passion, a hobby. That's how you build and that's how you have content. And so then when things start to go sideways, bro, you a millionaire and the money leaves, you're not trying to do, unalive yourself because that relationship was religious with your bread.
Yeah. Right.
You should have been religious with appreciation. So that's it for me, bro. I'm D to the J. You already know what it is.
So, man, in closing, we made a lot of points tonight. And as we're talking about relationships, it just seems like, we make uninformed decisions and we try to make seasonal people be in our life a lifetime.
Yeah.
Somebody will catch it a little bit.
Yeah.
So we appreciate y'all tonight, man. We appreciate the new viewers. Tina, Noel, everybody else who chimed in tonight, man. We really appreciate it. Again, wife, happy birthday to ya. That's it. So, because life, keep on lifing, and we're going to be here to talk about it. I'm your host, Tony D.
And I'm your host, D to the J, still in the building. I don't even plan on leaving, and it's still a G thing. Shout out to heaven to all of them. Every single Wednesday, bro. They already know where they're going to find us. It's all at the bottom. You can shoot the email. There's the YouTube. Yeah. Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Rock with us. We out.
Every Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Tap in with your boy, your host, Tony D to the J. Every Wednesday, Life Be Life and Podcast. And yeah,